So we're here with Michael Reeves at Wellington's restaurant. And the neat thing about Wellington's restaurant is all the nostalgia and collectibles that are in the restaurant. So Michael, show us around a little bit in the restaurant here.
Well, this is a picture from 1951 of the North America passenger and cruise liner coming in Parry Sound. And docked right down on the waterfront. Those boats came in and out of here on a regular basis during the summer. Down in there is actually an article from 1918 that shows that you could do a week's tour for $60. Amongst all the pictures on the wall is the original plot of land as it was laid out here by William Beatty. And you can see how the streets were devised, and you'll see on one side of the river is the town. On the other side was another town called Carrington. And originally this plot of land was developed with no alcohol or tobacco products allowed on this side. Of course the other side was pretty boisterous. These glass panels here are originally from the Walker House Hotel in Toronto. They came from a room called the Rathskeller, and they're about 125 years old. They were made specifically for the Walker House Hotel. And they've migrated up here, and they've been on our walls for the last 5 years. Okay. Now in here is a collection of old Canadian currency and just a few other nicks and knacks. I guess the highlight of what goes on in here is probably these $3 and $4 bills from 1859. And they're hand signed and hand numbered, they're so old. And the reason for a $3 bill was that was about as close as they could come to a British pound at that time. And then the rest of the currency moves on from there. 1878 for that dollar bill, well used. And then beyond that, the rest of the currency. The banks could issue their own currency up to 1935. It was gold backed, and there's some from the Bank of Montreal and the Well Bank and the Bank of Commerce. And that ended in 1935. And here's an issue where they issued some currency in English and some in French. And then I think for reasons to cut down on costs, they eventually put the French on the English and doubled up on it. Here's some silver certificates from the United States, $1 and $2 certificates. You could actually exchange those for a certain amount of silver. And it turned out the silver was worth more than the face value of the note, so they had to discontinue that. Well, there's a 500 from the 34 series. The 1934 series had bills up to $500, $1,000, $5,000, and $10,000.
And what was the reason for that, Michael?
They were used, the bigger bills were used to exchange checks when banks ended the day. Because there was no clearinghouse as there is now. There's so many different banks that they'd actually be moving the checks back and forth and moving the money in to compensate for it. There's a collection of Newfoundland stamps from 1949. This is the year that they came into Confederation. So a little bit of history here. Here's a picture from 1953 of the Midland City docked at the town dock here. And this is how people got down to Midland, and apparently they took cars on it as well. There was no highway south of back here at that time, so that was about the only way you'd get there.
So Michael, we plan to come back here a lot. And tell us, what happens if you come into the Parry Sound, Big Sound Marina.
If you come into the dock and you give us a call, I'll come down to pick you up, have dinner, and at the end of the night I'll take you back down.
Perfect.
And if you want, I'll give you a little tour around the area as well.
Very nice. Well, we appreciate your time, Michael. It's a beautiful restaurant and great collection here.
Thank you very much.